discuss? What are they going to discuss?
Poor performance of the national team, which has become a laughing stock
But
in the
again,
national state.
you would wonder what objectives was he given when he was given that job, Kufaz, Grant? What objectives was he
But
given?
in his contract, it was he was supposed to qualify the national team to AFCON, and
Okay.
automatically that the contract should be renewed, which has been given the same contract based on that mandate. That was the project of that. So we are just imagine the contract you are making is to make a team or a coach to qualify a team to AFCON. That's just that is a mandate in itself. And then when you
Mhm.
look at it with the Chan, he had three different statements. The first one, he talked about the challenges that they faced. The first one, they lost to Congo DR. They talked about
Mhm.
that, and also training time. That's what he talked about. Then, if you remember, the second time they lost, he had actually talked about another statement which he made on media. And the last statement he made was basically that they were preparing a team. They weren't there for treatment because the second statement he said lack of friendlies and the time for the team to actually gel together and just on a friendly match. But the last statement he said he went there to fun tournament so that they can actually acclimatize and get used because they didn't have enough time to train. So they didn't have any challenge just to go there and participate. So you can see inconsistent in terms of how he was making statements. You can tell to say this person has no plan because we all know that Grant didn't actually assemble that team. It is the local
Yes.
coaches that assemble the team. So if he jumped into that, my question would have been, could it be that the local coaches, if they had gone to China, they would have actually lost three games? The question that we should ask ourselves because they are the ones. So having that, I think we are missing a point. So there is inconsistent when it comes to the coach making statements. We are not seeing a direction. Again, when you look at past lack of preparation. So those are things that they need to talk about. Just trying to put a postmortem so that people can actually begin to see where did we go wrong and what can be done better. Because remember, we've got an AFCON that is coming. So we should use that as a litmus paper for us to prepare for the tournament, incoming tournament that is coming. I believe that is the best way. But if we are just going to go to the drawing board, as always, they say, I don't know if the board still has space for Zambia
And
to
I would
improve
want to
because
find out how big is the drawing board. They always talk about we are going back to the drawing board. Tai sura na nomba.
a drawing board jam Zambia man kusana kusana. But I think for me, what I talked about, I think in the group, I talked about a lot of factors that has made Zambia to actually go down. Because it should ask you, it should raise a concern or even just come to your mind to think about why is it that all the neighboring countries, which we used to warm 5060, have improved and Zambia is still going down. And we're at the lowest point in terms of football in Zambia. I believe that Zambia performed the first time they qualified to AFCON is 1974. And you could see the first time we went there, we had to reach the final. Similarly, if you go to 1993 when Zambia lost its maiden heroes who perished in Gabon, you can see how Zambia came into assembled a team which went as far as reaching, I mean, the quarterfinals and all that. So you can see how serious Zambian football was that even if you lose a team today, there will be another team that you can assemble and compete favorable into this tournament. But here you compare to the past glories and the past teams that we used to assemble within a short space of time and perform better. Today, if you assemble the whole nation, you assemble a team, it's going to be useless as it is as we are looking at the team that has fought to win 4 games, losing all the 4. So I don't want to say much because I'm emotional. I'm looking at my country and being patriotic to my team. I can tell you just looking at these two comparisons. Zambia, we lost the national team in 1993, and we had to assemble a team within a short space of time. And look at how they performed. Looking at emotions, forgetting about the people that have died, we went there to compete. You see, so
Yeah.
if you compare in the past and you compare today, where you can have a national recruit and you still have only one player that you can manage of all the country, you compare, you recruit, you call coaches to go and make a team and they only call one player. And this is the only player we found out of the country. It's a joke of a day. Yeah. It is an insult. So I just don't know.
I understand.
Mm.
I understand how you're feeling. Brother Peter, are we on? Can you hear us? Apostle Peter, I would love you to say something. What has gone wrong with Zambian football? Is Grant the right coach for us? I think network in Makulu is something else. Brother Chisenga, you can pick that one up.
There's a lot of stuff when you come to Zambian football. I think I agree
Ah,
with that 13 minutes voice note. A lot was said, and I totally agree with that because if you ask me, I don't even know what to say when it comes to the performance. I think that was an embarrassing performance. If you ask me, not a single Zambian fan is happy with that because if we are going to go in a tournament like that with the so-called best players that they picked, at least come out with even a point. It just shows a little bit of some respect that as a country, yes, we are doing something.
True.
Because what I understand is that the performance that we put out per Chan tournament is a reflection of our league. So when
exactly.
those rankings come out after this particular performance, we shouldn't even complain like, but why is Zambia ranked like that? Because when it comes to our best players, that's exactly what they can offer. That's exactly what our league has to offer. So I think the biggest problem for me has always been player selection. Sometimes we've seen a situation where we've picked the best players, but it's more like the players picked when they go to a tournament. They are not assembled. It's like you just get Kopama, you get another Cunha, you get like three number 10s, then you expect them to play in the same team. There is no way you can expect those players that play the same position to be able to create some kind of chemistry. When picking up these players, I think it's important that these coaches realize that if I take this player and put together with this player, these players will be able to work together and they can be able to create some kind of chemistry, which is going to be beneficial to the team. But in most cases, you'd find you've picked up the so called best players, but when they go to a tournament, they are failing to play together because this player's playing style and that other player, they just don't combine well. So I think that's one thing they need to focus on when picking up these players. Otherwise, this same thing they've been saying that the reason we keep on going back to the old players is because they have experience. What's the whole point of having players that are called experienced if, of course, they have nothing to show for? Because where was the experience coming out without a point? Is that the experience? Because if you tell me that that's the reason why they are not giving these young players a chance, it's because they lack the experience. Tell me then where's the difference? Because if those young unexperienced players went to the tournament and came out without a point, I don't see the difference from the experienced players that went to the same tournament and came out without a point. The best you can do is give the younger generation an opportunity to also try and grow. It's supposed to be a project where you have to, if you don't trust in someone, you don't believe in someone, there is no way they can show you the best they can offer. So the best thing you can do is these same players they're saying they are not experienced. Try to nurture them.
Mhm.
How long are we going to go back to the 45-year-old guys and pretend they are still in their 20s to represent us? A good example is have you seen how South Africa assembles their COSAFA tournaments? they don't come to every tournament with the same players. They are always giving an opportunity to other players. But when it comes to Zambia, I don't know if the goal is let's win the tournament, yet we are still failing to do that. So where is the growth in that? Is Zambian football makes me emotional. Sometimes I don't even like talking about it because there are just a lot of things that someone who's never
Honorable,
studied
Honorable,
coaching stuff and all, I like that kind of thing. Mama, the thing is, I didn't go for a coaching course, man. Like I don't even have a PhD or whatever in coaching, but I'm able to notice certain things that this is not how this is supposed to be. So the question is, those people that did this, why are they doing the opposite of what us fans can see? It's just embarrassing if you ask me. Yeah,
Okay, Brother Peter.
Yes, yes, sir.
I'm sure you are following what Mr. Chisanga was saying. What would you say? Is Grant the right coach for us, or what is going wrong with our Zambian football? We had a very, very, very disappointing outing, Kuchan. So, how can you put it in your own words?
I will just go straight to the point. I think Grant is not helping us.
Okay.
When he selected the team, you saw how Power Dynamos played during the course of the league. At Power Dynamos, he managed to pick the midfield for Power Dynamos, where we saw the young lad Frederick Mulambia, we saw Prince Mumba, and we saw Owen Tembo. Why not take the same midfield, put it there? Because those guys, they have already gelled up. They're having the chemistry. When Power Dynamos is playing, those are the key players that dictate play during the course of the league and manage to secure the title. But we never saw that. Grant is not helping us. Grant is not helping us. Then when it comes to our leaders, the problem that we have with our coaches is that they have got their own players that they want to play at the national team. If you look at Wada, the player that he was using, we knew that when Wada is coach at the national team, this player is going to play at the national team. If we see Beston Chambeshi at the national team, we know the players that are going to go to the national team. During the time of Chambeshi, we saw Alison Chisala being part of the team each and every time of Beston Chambeshi. During Wada time, we saw Alex Bazongonga being always there to the national team. I'm just setting an example. So you discover to say that way we are not going to develop. Like the previous speaker said, why have position six players? Why not just choose one player that is going to fit there? Maybe you choose the number 6 that are going to squad. There are 3 in case of injuries. But we see the 7th position, we have got it. I don't know. So, all in all, Grant is not a right man this time around. Okay. He has failed us terribly. From the very start, when Grant the contract was coming to an end, we talked about this thing. We qualified to the Africa Cup, but how did we perform?
How did we perform?
We were performing terribly. We were not scoring goals. The World Cup qualifier, where are we?
In September, I think we should. Is it September? We should be playing Tanzania.
Yes, and Morocco. But those games we are losing terribly. We are not even going to the World Cup. Under this man, ni nani starter ifoi? Teo, Bajoyo, Teo ifoi.
Okay, so we're saying that Grant is not the one, and we're not happy with the way things are being done, Kufaz. But there are certain changes that have happened. Do you see it trickling down to our selection national team, or even the way we're going to? We have a new general secretary, Machacha Shapande, has officially reported for duty at Football House today, and he was with outgoing Ruben Kamanga. Now, let's talk about the leadership transition. Do we see Machacha shaking up things, Kufaz? Are we going to see a TV deal unveiled anytime soon? Because for the first time we had the ZPL, it was on, but we didn't see it on any screen. So what's happening? Are we going to see something since we have a new secretary, Kufazuku? And is he going to address the issue of grant? Because from what we know, grant contract is running until 2027. So what does this announcement mean for us as football lovers? Who's going to pick that one up?
Brother Joel, pick it up.
That one is tough if you ask me.
Yeah.
How is it tough? We want to watch the ZPL.
You know, every leadership for me, especially when there is a change of power, for me, I believe from what I was taught, you know. I remember one time for us teachers, we used to prepare our work before going to class. So one of my supervisors told me that if you are going on time, and that's when you're looking for your study materials to teach, when you're not ready to teach. The moment you're about to go, that's when you're looking for teaching materials, that you're going to class, then you're not ready to teach because you should have planned way back before teaching. And I believe you understand that the chief member had a plan, an operational plan, where he wrote about a lot of things that he wants to do for FAS. I think there was that, which even the SG at that time actually were using with together when they were campaigning. So I didn't see it proper when I saw, first president keeping the same people that he knew they were not in line with his vision. You know, you can't play politics every time thinking to say you're going to be a messiah. So for me, looking at the SG, the system is still the same. And I don't like it where Zambian begin to first write a profile about someone. No, he has done this, he has done this. And when they come into office, you're not seeing results. It's a disappointment by itself because I've seen a lot of media personnel aligned to him that have posted a lot of CVs about him. That is not an
Experience. By the way, Joel, 30 years in football administration, including at the AU Commission.
individually would have seen him contributing individually to Zambian football. That is the question. You can participate, you are in leadership for quite some time. He's coming as an SG. He was an SG. I mean, he was a secretary, he was a general secretary. He's just returning back to his position. What did he contribute even when he was a general secretary? That's the question we should ask. Then coming to him, there is a great task that he needs to do. One of it is first and foremost looking at it, signing the contract for TV rights. You can't go into second week, you don't even know the people that are going to be televising the matches. That is lack of seriousness. We saw them saying, no, you're going to see. We've asked these people aligned to this member saying, no, you're just going to see. Everything is in place. How do you actually see it in a second week? You know, we don't have a national team kit as we are talking about. We don't even know what players they are going to be dressed. I mean, wearing the national team. That is lack of seriousness, you know. And when you talk about you are going to engage a lot of things need to be done at the FAS. So for me, this person who has come in, we don't need to look at his past experience. We just want to see him working and working on what we are talking about issues to deal with. One, TV right. Yes, we cannot put them so much because there's also Zambia Super League management that is dealing with such issues. But then collectively, I'm expecting a lot from him. I don't want to see people talking, just praising people. I just want to see him on action orientation. Otherwise, from the kick that I've seen a laissez-faire type of leadership that these guys are working on. A lot is at if you look at FAS, a lot of things is at stake. FAS, when you look at the grants which were coming from FIFA, has been freezed based on the contractual issues with Asanovic, which they have failed to pay the money. And so FIFA said they're not going to be giving grants to FAS. And you'll see FAS is paying 50% of the salary for the national coach, and 50% is also coming from government. So what happens from the FAS side? Money is freezed. So it simply means there's that problem that is already existing as much as we're dealing with the past. So there's a lot that this guy needs to do. There's so much on his table that he needs to work on. But for me, I'm not expecting a lot of changes because most of the things that I've seen from the new parts is the same thing that I used to see in Kamanga, and I was an advocate who didn't want to see, and I wanted to see change. But I'm seeing similar patterns of certain things, that decision making and other stuff. So I'm managed to get convinced from this, this first president and the SG that is coming. If they have the same, I think that's what I can say at the moment.
Okay, but we can only pray and hope for the best. Let's give him time. Let's see if we're going to get a TV deal going into week 2. Week 2 kicks off on a Saturday. We'll see if we have anything. So if there's anything, they should be announcing per Thursday or Friday. We should know where we're going to be watching our games. Brother Peter, are we there? How's the network in Makururu?
Makururu is doing fine here.
So Grant must go. Grant must go.
Currently, with the situation that we are having, in as much as we would want Grant to go, again, we are going to put ourselves under pressure, because looking at what the first president told us, he told us at Football House there is no money. And if we suspend the contract for Grant, it will be another mountain to climb. First of all, the first president came in with full force. But currently, the firepower that he came with, it is going down. Now he has brought in the new Secretary General. That man has worked before.
Well, we might
so
see
we
some
are.
We might see some experience.
We might see some experience coming, but it will take time.
We are rebuilding. We need to blend Zambia's philosophy. We need to change the way these guys select the players for national team, and I think that is not going to happen overnight.
Yes, but what will happen? You still have Moses Chon on the touchline. You still have the same people. You still have the same people. We are changing the head coach, but we still have the same people.
Exactly.
So the coaching staff must, everyone, if we are removing the coaching staff, let's remove everyone.
But that's
when we remove everyone. Yes, we bring fresh people that are ready to work. I think these people, they are not helping the big man.
Okay.
It is so, like they are frustrated.
Uncle Peter, what's your take? What's your take on these coaches that they choose? Let's say if they choose a coach for under 15, or under 17. That coach is attached with a football club, and he's working on 2 tickets. He's coaching sometimes the national team, and sometimes he's with his club. Do you think that is good in terms of
No,
concentration and dedication?
totally. Yeah, totally. I don't agree. Even me, if you give me a contract based on that, I'll bring the same players that I like.
But we've
I'll bring
seen
the
that
same players
happen
that
in the
I like.
past.
So we need an independent, and we need an independent coach. When we are talking about under 17 coach, we know that this is a under 17 coach. When we are talking about the under 20 coach, we know this is the under 20 coach. When we are talking about under 23, we know that this is the under 23 coach. When we are talking about the senior national team, we know that this is the senior national team coach. That is the reason why these coaches, you agree with me, they don't watch all the league games. The time that Beston Chambeshi is supposed to watch Power Dynamos is playing with Zesco. Is he going to watch the game? Definitely not. They will just hear results. They will just hear this one scored, this one scored, this one scored. But they will not watch the entire ZP. So what is he going to do? He will go for the people that he is coaching. And at the end of the day, we are not posting out results. Look at the team selection that was Kuchan. Every time I saw people, every time they posted the starting 11, people would say to Alaru Sano Kuru, say line up. It means that people have seen to say this lineup cannot provide results. The Kenya game, when we just saw the lineup, we knew that even this one we are not managing. Why? Because inside of us, we know the people that are supposed to be that side, but we can't be there. And these people must learn to give the nation what the nation deserves at the moment.
Okay. Brother Chisenga, can you say that the team that was assembled for Chan was the best team in the league? Were you satisfied with the selection?
I think I'll stick with what I said earlier on. When I said, I think when it comes to
we're talking about the
when it comes
selection,
to the players being selected,
the selection that was picked.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think when it comes to a selection, one thing we need to understand is that you need to select players that can actually create some sort of chemistry. And like the same thing I was talking about, where you pick 3-4 players that play the same position and you expect them to be able to give you a result. I think it doesn't work well. And I actually agree with what he's from saying. The part where you say every department needs to have its own coach, because if you say we bring in Beston Chambeshi currently is a manager of a team which is in the ZPL. So he doesn't have the time to watch all these other games and get to find out which player is playing well at this particular side and all this. But if we do have a technical bench, which is just whose job is to make sure that they are the ones that can select COSAFA teams, and this particular one is just there to select the Chan tournament. This one is just for this. Those guys are able, when it comes to these weekend games, those guys, you can say, you can go and watch this game, you can watch this game, you can watch that game. And when they sit together, they'll say, okay, the game I was covering, this was the best player. And I think this player, if we put together with this player, they can give us the kind of selection we need. Unlike a situation whereby you get to pick players based on what the fans are saying, like, this one plays well for Nkana, so yeah, let's pick this one. This sports analyst said this one plays well for Cabo Warriors, so let's pick this one. And you go on social media, you see someone praising that this guy played well for Red Arrows, and you just say, okay, I'll pick this particular one. You check the ZPL score sheet, and they tell you like the goal scorer is from Buffaloes, and you just say like, look, I'm gonna get this one, and you find that you are picking players based on what you haven't seen yourself. So you have no clear idea on how these players are played and how you can actually get to work with them. But in a situation where you have a technical bench whose assignment is to make sure that they have a squad that can represent the country at the COSAFA, they have a squad for all these tournaments. Those guys are able to pick players on merit without having that favoritism we've noticed, whereby if Wada Wada is the coach of this tournament, then there's a certain player you are guaranteed that whatever happens, this player is going to play at this tournament. If Beson Chambesh is the coach, you know that a certain player, regardless of how poor their form is at the time, they will be picked. That thing will be a thing of the past. And the other thing is the same situation where you pick someone to go to a tournament. Look, I'm always going to go back to the Wada Wada case at the COSAFA tournament. Trust me, that didn't make sense for me. How do you pick up a coach and send them on an assignment? Then on the middle of the tournament, they leave the tournament, and you say, we knew that this man had an assignment. Why did you send them there? Why didn't you send someone whose job was to make sure that they are there at that particular tournament? So there's a lot of stuff that needs to be done, and it's not only the team, it's not only the coaches, but FAS as well. They really need to make sure that certain things like this, they are done in a manner whereby beneficial. Look, if you do not have the funds to make sure that all these things are catered for, then look for sponsors instead of giving us headaches every time. Because look, I'm here, I'm talking about the leadership qualities, I'm talking about the players, I'm talking about management, I'm talking about all these things. When I'm done talking about the Zambia national team, I go and talk about another team in the ZPL, same situation. Next day, also, I'm talking about this player having said this, which is not good. This coming week, I'm talking about this. Come on, every day I'm talking about that. That's how people even end up with BP. Trust, this is not how things are supposed to be handled. I think we are lacking in a lot of sections, and until we are able to sort out some of these positions, we'll always come back to the biggest drawing board in African football. I'm pretty sure Zambia is one which has the biggest drawing board because we always go back to it. But the question is, what exactly are we putting on that drawing board that we keep going back to check and it's still not working out? That's the biggest question. Otherwise, Zambian football is a headache, if you ask me.
Just
Okay.
to contribute there.
Uh-huh.
I agree with him, and what I want to contribute is it comes to philosophy. Currently, we don't have a philosophy as a national team. If we talk about Spain, when you just hear Spain, you will know that it is tiki-taka type of football. See how the female folk were playing. Spain female national team, tiki-taka, same football philosophy. But when we talk about Zambia, what's philosophy? When you hear Zambia, are we a passing game? Are we a nation that do a passing game? If you hear of the Arabs, they will tell you to say these are people that play long balls. But what about us? What is the philosophy? Because it is out of the philosophy that we are able to pick players that are going to detect play at that particular given moment. But we discovered to say we have no philosophy. When these guys they were playing, you'd see no philosophy. They don't know what they want. We must be known for something. When they just hear Zambia, no, Zambia plays a fast game. When they hear Zambia, Zambia plays using the wings. Zambia plays using the midfield. Their strength is this. Now ask yourself today, which is our strength as a national team? We don't have the strength. the philosophy is down. These same players that we got to the national team, they don't know the philosophy of Zambia national team. So there is much more to be done.
No, I agree. I agree with you. I agree with you. We must have a philosophy. We must have something that sets us apart. And when we have a coach, we need to have a coach that understands who we are as Zambian people. Because if you look at the selection that was done, Kuchan, personally, I just feel like many players were not called on merit because we are not going to go into that. But for the sake of people that are listening, you look at players like Wene Kapumbu. Kapumbu made the squad. Where was he playing? He came from Israel. He just joined the new team, Konkola, hardly kicked the ball. But when the squad was being assembled, he got picked. Larry Warrior was faced with a couple of injuries, Kunapsa. He hardly played. But when the Chan was on the horizon, we saw him. He got picked. We can't say that for any Mumba, Prince Mumba, Owen Tembo, Molambia, and who else? The Kayumbo guy from NAPSA. He's a good player. So, in short, we might be saying that the players that we have for national team are not really good, or our league is lacking. But again, for me, somehow I blame the administration. Like, you need to know how to get the best out of your players. You really need to know how to light them up. You really need to understand your chemistry from the goalkeeper to the defender to the strikers. You need to know. We had all the players. We didn't get the best out of Charles Zulu. We never got the best out of Molambia. I don't know if we put him on the right time. I don't know if we subbed him on the right time. Again, if you look at when Chepeshi and Kawaso Chongo, they were mismatched at the back there. The back line had no chemistry. If you saw how we conceded in the
True.
first game, you could see that our defenders, they were not understanding one another. So somehow, even the touchline contributed to those poor results. They are not supposed to put the blame heavily on the players to say, because that's why we've got coaches. It's modern day football. You've got people on the touchline who are putting one and two together. So when the loss comes, I think all the parties must take the blame. The players must account for themselves. Even the people that were on the bench need to account for themselves. Even the people, because we knew Bawada and Beston. They were the people that were entrusted with Chan. How it changed the last minute, I don't know. I don't know how we ended up with Grant, because Chan is for local players, and we get the local players from the ZPL. So one simple question: who understands the ZPL so well between Grant na Vene Wada na Vene Chambish? Who understands the ZPL on a deeper level? Well, Joe, I'll leave that to you.
Amangani, this time around, I wish they can use Lamek Banda from Might and Frida Wanderers and try him as well to see what he can do for national team.
He can do
Because
wonders.
for me, yes, for me, if you look at Venawada and the best on Chambesh, look at what they did. They messed up Kosaka. They messed up at Kosaka. Some point there was no seriousness when they were playing Kosafa. You see, you've assigned the coach to actually go and compete at Kosafa. Then along the way, you send him for CAF trainings. Yeah, you know those my badges they for training. Someone is doing the job and there is a tournament. That to me shows that there is no seriousness in terms of how we are taking these tournaments.
Well, he actually
Because
left the team in South Africa because of that. Ask me, I didn't know. I didn't know why he left.
He left because that's the point I'm trying to say. If you know that there is a program ahead of someone or a coach, why should you assign such kind of a coach? He should have left, or you leave room for other people to actually carry out that mandate. We are coming from also last year. Look at what happened to Chisim Dewe when he went to Kosafa. We failed to even a single game last year's Kosafa. And we did the same thing this year. And we went again to Chan, we did the same thing. So if you go back, you begin to take this drawing board they talk about, you are actually seeing the correlation in terms of how we are performing, coming as far as last year, going to this tournament.
I
Not
think
only that, we are talking about world fires. Look at how we performed. Yeah? Niger had to wire us. You know, teams that you expect to win, Tanzania is the one that you are struggling to beat, you know. And you can tell to say, like they talked about the philosophy. Zambia was known for short passes and attacking. That's what we are known for. And that's how we used to take the ball. And our philosophy was the best way to defend is to attack. That's what Zambia was known for. And every team that would play Zambia used to actually shiver, including Ivory Coast. If you watch the 2012 final,
Everyone.
you saw we are playing together, you know. So now when you look at the ball, how we are playing football this time around, you can see something is missing in this team. One, there is no passion. Two, there is no coordination or team spirit. Each one wants to shine. Because at moment where I would say, this one is going to pass here, the other person is open. So such issues needs to be talked about. And I think this is the moment that the first president, because he's always going to the training, he needs to talk. Kalusha Bwale used to actually even play with the boys. Mune mwana bale pass ama one pass yali abena Kalusha Bwale mu dressing room. Baletapo ekirimbo baleshana bonse. These are moments where you need to bring chemistry. But at the end of the day, FAS needs to put itself in order, especially when it comes to now making decisions, critical decisions. It's either Zambian football dies or resurrect. That's where we are. We only have two options: critical decisions to resurrect Zambian football. Like I said, we've seen the FG where they have actually put him, they have put the CV for him. He has actually been the FG before. He has served at the Sports Council, National Sports Council. He has served the at African Sports Council, whatever it is in Ethiopia. They've talked a lot, and he has got 30 years of experience. Now we need to actually look at him now. What is it that he's doing to actually improve? So we are going to give him just few more, months to see how he's going to acclimatize himself and how he's going to actually put a demand on that position, because that position is very, very important. Very important at this particular moment. He needs to make sure that they cut deals.
Brother
Interested
Peter.
in having the same season with 12.
Brother Peter, before you
yes.
come in, but we asked this question, and Peter said it was not a good idea. Where you see someone, coach national team is a coach Kunkana, and that's what we've been doing to Zambian football. He was with Red Arrows. But based on when Kuko Safa, he was with Concora. And I think Bawada just, so why is it that we're seeing this in Zambia now? You are a coach somewhere, again, you have to be attached at the national team. Somehow, somewhere, I don't think it sits okay with me. But Peter said something. I'll just give you like a minute before Brother Peter can come in. What's your view on that? What, Joel?
Myself or Peter?
No, yourself.
Okay, yeah. You know, first, when it comes to local coaches, they go for cheap labor. And that's why we don't motivate our own local coaches. Every coach that has been assigned to any developmental team that we have, starting from under 17, under 20, under 23, and the national team is the one that is independent. Because if you look at Ian Bakala, where is he?
He's in Zimbabwe.
And which team is? Yes, he's in Zimbabwe. But which team from the national team is he overseeing?
It is not. Isn't it the under 15 or under 17?
Under 17 is overseeing that. You know. So what we need to do is we need to have a formula that is going to work. I think if you notice, when Germany won the World Cup, they actually had to assemble a small team that they started training and building taking them to school. Because here in Zambia, you would see that there is no schools that are offering sports education here in Zambia, apart from PE. But our friends in Europe, they have got just schools for sports, especially football in particular. I'm told even Joan Mata is one of the player who is educated in that field, where he's got, I think, if it's a master's in football, you know.
Oh,
So you can see here in Zambia with those trainings or schools that we need to actually take students or players for school just to study football and all that, where they will learn a lot of things. But when it comes to development, that's where we need to look at that. We need to recruit coaches that will detach from the club responsibility, because you cannot call a coach who is going to come in without recruiting players. I mean, spending time with players just a week before a tournament, or assemble a team and take them to the tournament. That's where now you are seeing poor selection, because now the coach will actually say, abandisha mwabaye nibanga, or abaye chobo mbomba na bena nibanga. And you've seen this not only just at national level, you see even when the coach moves from one team to another team, you will start now taking the players from one club and migrate them as if it's a nomadic kind of league. So that has actually affected us. So what we need is to assign a coach that is not going to be attached to any club, so that they can really just focus on the developmental agenda of a team at a certain age, or the level of a team. So a national team, I mean. So that is what is key at the moment. For me, I am not going to fight. I supported Kamanga, Chief Mwemba. So what I want to do is, I'm not a pressing, I will support everything. I want to see delivery, because we change our leadership and we need to see a different type of style of leadership that is going to bring about results. So what we are going to do is let him ensure that he really, really form a team, a formidable team, starting from the media. If he's going to continue with these people, he shouldn't come and start having blamed game. Oh, I'm using people that are even campaigning me. If you want, he so wish that he's coming with a positive agenda, the way he wrote that plan, let him come up with a team, not only the SG, the media team, every security, whatever that you want, everything that is at first there. He needs to make sure that he come up with a team that is going to be serious, tried and tested, and result oriented. Otherwise, it's starting from there. Things started falling before the pass. Remember, we last qualified to AFCON in 2015. And that's why it was very difficult when you're recruiting coaches that we are supposed to give them a mandate in a contract that only to qualify a team to AFCON is part of their measure in the contract, which was very poor. Because you can't craft a contract where you just give a mandate for a coach for you to qualify an AFCON or a national team to AFCON, then it means that we can renew a contract. Then that is poor, crafting of a contract.
That's what has helped.
We don't go to.
That's what has helped Grant.
Huh?
That's what helped Grant.
Yeah. Yes, so the contract has been renewed up to 2017, and we are hiring coaches who have retired. You know, they are enjoying their retirement and they are coming here to Zambia. They have nothing to offer. Because if you tell me to say how many coaches, players coach Grant identified, let's go to Evrena. Evrena, we are able to see Bernard Sambalungu coming. Abena Emmanuel Mbola coming in. You see Abena Mukukamuleka coming in. These are players that he was identifying, and they made an impact to the national team. You can see how he gelled Bena Felix Katongo. You could see how Bena Chamanga were playing under Evrena. Yes, Dario Bonnet formed a team, but Evrena found a system for the national team. And that we can agree, all of us, because we qualified by chance under Dario Bonnet in 2010. But when Evrena came in, you could see how now the team was participating. And that's a moment where we reached the AFCON quarterfinal in Angola. You saw how we jubilated that time. So what we are trying to say here is, we are not coming here because we just want to offer a coach and give them a mandate. No, they should be able to come and fall into the system that we have. Look at Seven when he came in. He had the philosophy and he said Zambia is not a footballing nation. You remember the statement he made?
Yeah.
You see? So everyone disagreed on that statement. We had Mutual who came in again. He had the statement, Zambia at this particular moment doesn't have a team. We need to form a team. And at that time, we used to have an Patson Daka. And it used to be painful where we are losing at Euro Stadium to Zimbabwe on Africa Cup of Nation qualifiers with Venamwepu in the team. So it's very sad. So we need to have a coach that is going to fall into the system that is crafted by FAS. What do I mean by that? We need to begin to understand on how they are transitioning these players. You can't have a player coming from under 17 all the way to national team and you have given them time to play. That's why they are tumpering. Why? Because they are not even one being tested as Chola boys.
Okay, hold that thought. Hold that thought. Let Brother Peter come in. Brother Peter, before you lose your thought, can you add on what Uncle Joe was saying?
Yes, there is a news that is coming right now that the minister wants to call for a meeting on how we have underperformed.
Interesting.
For me, that will be again another debate that the government wants to take. So all these things now are coming in. It will drop now. Are we going to see grant going far if the government comes in? If the first president says we are terminating the contract of this coach, since you want to know the coach underperformed, are you willing to pay that coach the money? So all this debate will come in, and at the end of the day, we are going back to the same thing that we are talking about. So we need grassroots football to be on its level based. Like Bachsanga gave an example of South Africa. Now, Joe talked about South Africa. The way South Africa, they are playing their games. You see COSAFA each and every time, new faces, new faces, new faces. But for us, COSAFA, tired dregs, MUCOSAFA. Look at the girls. This time around, the girls, they are playing. Zambia national team, they are playing these girls. But look at from where we have reached with the bubble abundance. Who are the next one that are going to join in and deliver when the Barbara Banda has left the stage? We are talking about the national team. We have got the Patson Dakas. But look at the performance of Patson Daka currently. Is Patson Daka performing to his level best? So these are the things that we are able to see. We know Patson Daka has been in the national team, but is he performing at club level? We were told that the training that Patson Daka does is more powerful than a striker that is scoring here in Zambia. So all those things are the things that we begin to debate. Did you see the goal by Joel, which Chris Kangwa, super fantastic. Chris Kangwa. Currently, Mr. Mangan, it is only Chris Kangwa that I am seeing is a star shining for the nation.
Numbers don't lie. Numbers don't lie. So far, when you talk about Zambians abroad, I think Prince Kangwa is the one who's happening right now.
Yes.
Definitely.
And Fashion Sakala as well.
Yeah. We can't forget Wamafasho as well. We can't forget Wamafasho. So now, enough about the Zambian team. Enough about the Zambian team. Now, let's look at the APR game that Power Dynamos played. Some Power Dynamo supporters are worried They are not impressed with what they have seen. They are scared that Asek Mimosa takeze wino. Takeze wino. But what the coach said, he said it's not about the result. It's about what they are planning and what they aim to gain. So for them, it's a win-win thing. They have gotten exposure. The players are learning from their mistakes. But again, we are always going to be critics on the sidelines. We haven't seen the players that they bought gel in. That we haven't seen the Schumers and whatnot. For me, I haven't seen that. So your take, Uncle Peter, what's your take on Power Dynamos? Their preparations have been on point.
I'm worried.
Why are you worried? And they're doing everything they're supposed to do.
The reason why I'm worried is that the first time the fixture came, I even said it on the folder to say Power Dynamos, they need to work extra hard for them to go far in CAF football. Yes, they went to South Africa, but look at the preseason. They were in South Africa, yes, but they failed to beat Chippa United, who always is number less than 10 in the league. They had that exposure of South Africa. They went to play to South Africa, their preseason. When they went this side to Rwanda to play, what we expected now is for the coach now to give us a team that he assembled during the preseason in South Africa. To say, this is the team now that I am having that will play Continental. Zesco, before even going to Rwanda, Zesco United, Mpa hammered them. No, it was just a cup game, and it is supporters that chose the players and all that came in, Charity Shield. They went this side. They are crying right now. They are saying it is because Owen Tembo was not there, Prince Mumba was not there. But they brought in new players. We did not see them coming to the party. And CAF, you win games at home. You have to make sure you win games at home. So now what happens? Nkana has been playing CAF games. We have watched Nkana play CAF games. They would win 2-1 at home. What would happen when they go an away game? They were being beaten 3-0. And they come out. So is Power ready to beat the Ivorian giant?
Asek Mimosa.
I'm telling you loud and clear, my words will be brought back. Power Dynamos is very
But I think Power Dynamos can beat them at home.
Power Dynamos can win a game at home, but it cannot go beyond 3-0.
Brother Joel, let's pick your thoughts on that one.
If we tulanda fe chinga that work someone to, because these are CAF envoy. They are representing all of us. It's not about Baneba, Abayelo. We are talking about the people that are representing them.
One or two things.
Yes, Brother Joel. The network that side, it is not. Yes, Brother Joel. The network seems wow. So Power Dynamos need to up their game. Power Dynamos need to have a winning team. Between now and September, we anticipate a good run for their money. This weekend they will be playing, so we expect them to come to the party and show us that indeed they are a team that is ready to play continental football, because the country is running behind them. They need to show us to say indeed they went for quality during their transfer window. They gave us the best which they were lacking in the team that won the league last season. So it is not going to be an easy thing, but it is something that the coach needs to work on. They have gone, they have seen the weather that side, Rwandan weather. We are hearing that they have signed a Rwandani, a midfield, and we are wait to see, because Power Dynamos is known for midfield, so they have bought another midfielder who will be playing alongside Bena Prince, alongside Bena Owen Tembo. So it is something that needs to be very powerful for them. So they are bringing these players, and the league has already started. We hope and pray that they will gel, the chemistry will work, and the coach at the end of the day is going to give us good results so that we rejoice. Currently, Power is investing. Currently, Power has got the resources that is needed for them to do or to buy any player that they want at the moment. It comes back to the coach. Is the coach ready to create a team that will conquer Africa at the end of the day and defend the league? Because they are having now two assignments: going far in the CAF and defending the league. Who are the players that are going to play the league games? Who are the players that are going to play the CAF games? Who are these players that are going to play both the league and the CAF games without having fatigue? It comes to the management, it comes to the technical bench on how they are going to manage these players. And at the end of the day, they are going to deliver. But looking at the way things are so far, yes, the coach can say it is not about results, but let me tell you, people get worried if results are not coming in. You lose 2-0 back to back, you are coming in the league has already started. Let them show now to say the 2-0s that we lost, they don't mean anything. We have got a team that is ready to participate in continental football. And at the end of the day, we'll clap for them, we'll rejoice with them. But what we need is for the players at Power Dynamos to take it seriously, to say this is CAF, and they should not take it lightly. It is never easy to play continental football while you are playing the league as well. So we'll see how they are going to manage defending the league and playing continental football.
And you are talking from experience, Brother Peter, because I remember Wankana when we were playing CAF and playing the league, it was difficult to balance. Huh?
Yes. The moment we reached the quarterfinals, if you remember, the moment we reached the quarterfinals, we struggled in the league.
Yeah, I remember. But for our brothers, I pray and hope it to be a different ball game, because we really need those 4 slots back.
But again, our brother, they have bought a midfielder from Rwanda. What's your take on that one?
For me, I'm yet to see that one play, and I don't know when they saw him.
He played second half. I'm told that he played second half, the same game that they were playing.
Let's look at the name. What's his name? Brother Peter. Rama Joseph something, huh?
Yes.
Rama Joseph. Let's see what we can find on him. Rama Joseph. Mogisa? Mogisha or Mogisa?
Let me check.
Because our friends are busy signing. He's from which team? Oh, it's coming from Gasogi. Yeah, it's coming from Gasogi United. But I just hope the signings will pay off, because our Power Dynamos, this time around, they've done everything correct. Okay. It's from Rwanda. Ibrahim. Bana post or not much info is there. Eh? But Apostle Peter, are we together? Apostle Peter, are we together?